Assassin's Creed is a franchise that has a habit of not giving its protagonist conclusive endings, and often resorts to off-screen deaths in the next game or as a part of the lore. The biggest problem I have is the mishandling of the KENWAYS. You play as 3 different KENWAYS and you only get to play as them across 3 games. You play as Haytham Kenway and Connor Kenway, also known as Raton Hannah Keton in Assassin's Creed 3, and then Edward Kenway in Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. Edward and Connor Kenway are 2 of the most beloved assassins and were very well accepted by the community of the Ezio Auditore, who is considered one of the best assassins after Altair, who is considered the master assassin of all assassins. Ezio had carried the whole franchise until Assassin's Creed Revelations, at which was his last game where he was the main protagonist and where his story is said to have concluded. The sad part is, I feel that we could have got way more good games from all the Kenways, and as Haytham being a Templar, it would have given us so much more good information about the Templars, because even though Assassin's Creed is about the assassins, the franchise has in many cases downplayed the Templars because the Templars seem to have a way bigger influence and are not as discreet as the assassins. The Templars seem to have way more secrets and pieces of Eden. I feel that the Kenways could have had just as good of a story as the Auditore family, because there still is a lot that isn't known about the Kenways, and they could play a very important role in the latest games, because the interesting part is that everything that took place from Assassin's Creed 3 to Syndicate happened anywhere from 10 to 30 years apart from each other, leaving quite a few of the key Assassin's Creed members alive. For example, Edward Kenway died before the events of Unity, and he could have had an influence on the events of Assassin's Creed Unity and Syndicate, with there apparently being a segment of where you get to see Haytham's house in, I think, Syndicate or Unity. The thing is, I am sure that these people's paths must have crossed at one point in time, just like they did in Assassin's Creed Rogue, which is actually a very important Assassin's Creed game because it takes place before the events of Assassin's Creed 3, and Shay Cormac meets Haytham Kenway, and you even get to meet Achilles Davenport while he was still an active assassin. The game even goes as far to the point where you get to meet Adewale over 20 years after Edward Kenway's death, and in fact you actually kill Adewale, which is crazy because Shay Cormac is a former assassin just like Haytham. These timelines really need to be explored more because I feel that we could get some really good Assassin's Creed games in the old style. And to this day, it really isn't factual how Connor Kenway, Shay Cormac, Arno Dorian, Jacob and Eva Fry died. I am honestly in awe at how Assassin's Creed went in the direction it did. They had such a lore-rich cast of characters who were still very much alive and well, and they ignored it. I am sure that if Assassin's Creed games were made accurately or lore accurate, I'm sure that there would have been so many crossovers with the characters that came after the events of Assassin's Creed 3. I believe Connor Kenway was supposed to become the next master assassin, like Altair and Ezio. Connor had the best leadership skills and judgment of all the Kenways. Connor was a clean slate and a breath of fresh air. He was young, passionate, dedicated and driven towards doing what was right. He had this childlike innocence about him, and he would question everything. He would even question the creed and the brotherhood. Connor had more of a story like Ezio, facing a huge tragedy in his life relating to his family, whereas the same thing happened to Connor, losing his home, family and village, having to rely on the creed to get his revenge and start a new brotherhood of his own, to fight back at the Templars and get his revenge and kill Charles Lee, the man who killed his mother and burnt his village. The long story short is that there still is a lot more to the Kenways, and they need to be revisited. They have so much more to offer. Even in their supposed deaths, they could offer so much value towards the lore. But I do understand that the Kenways are ancestors of Desmond Miles, and since Desmond Miles is dead, we need to wonder if the Kenway lore died with Desmond, because I'm sure that the Kenways could have given a lot of context towards the lore. My final thoughts are, we should really have got more games about the Kenways. You play as 3 different generations of Kenways, and you only get 3 games that they are in, and then they just disappear from existence, having left very little behind. The new direction of Assassin's Creed is very questionable because there is no lore to follow, and it seems like they are just making it up as they go along, forsaking everything the previous games had built up to. The build up to some massive revolutionary event or discovery has been downplayed or is still yet to come. come, because it seems like everyone is on the edge of their seat for the next two big Assassin's Creed games, and the only thing I am worried about is the lore. And with that, this is the Chilly Man signing off. I thank everyone for watching. Peace out.